Welcome to today's session and thanks for joining. In these live sessions, I demonstrate a technique for swing trading profitably in any market condition by taking only high probability and low risk trades. Greeting- Greetings, I am Sagar Nandi, retired IT professional swing trading in the USA and India markets using only one trading system, Q, that I developed myself. Disclaimer, this demonstration is for educational purposes only. I am not an investment advisor. It is not a trade recommendation. Trading involves risk. You and only you are solely responsible for the outcome of your trades. Options trading can be risky. You may refer to the characteristics and risks of standardized options document from OCC to decide if options trading is suitable for you. Q runs on Metastock and registration platforms. It has multiple components. I'll use several of them today. Instruments that often move the market. From now, I'm going to only use the live systems, and my aim is to limit these sessions to 30 minutes. Dollar index, it is in a downtrend. In the last market recap, I mentioned that until these trend line resistances are broken, it will not be bullish. It did not break the trend line resistances, it fell. On Friday, however, it had a solid reversal with big move up 3. But that does not make me bullish for trading purposes because there are multiple trend line resistances ahead, and I don't like to buy when these memory resistances are just above price. We'll see if they are broken next week. If dollar index goes up and the inverse correlation holds, which did not hold last week, then it may put further pressure on the market. But looking at the fact that last week dollar index fell, market fell sharply, that inverse correlation obviously is not working. The market fell apparently because of tariffs, and nobody can deny that. The impact of the tariff announcement from the USA government. However, I did look up some of the global markets like Nifty 50 of India. This is the daily chart. It's moving down with a slope, not so sharp slope, and the decline started long time ago. If anything, the slope has reduced. Yes, it fell this week, but that is in line with the decline it had earlier. India is one country on which tariffs were imposed, and China was another one. Let's look at that. CSI 300 moving sideways. Yes, again this week it fell, but that is a normal drop inside the sideways move, the box range that we have here. Later on we'll see, and of course you know that the USA market is looking very different from this. What about mega cap index, the other instrument that tremendously influences the market, and there the correlation is almost always present, unlike the dollar index inverse correlation with the market. Mega cap custom index, weekly fell sharply. Friday also fell sharply. It is approaching the next trend line support in both daily and weekly. If the support or supports hold and price can close higher with a bullish shape, hopefully neutral color or bullish color candle, that may be a time to look to buy. So when the market is falling sharply like this, I am looking at the Q major supports to see if they hold. If they hold, only then I am going to consider buying. I will keep an eye on this mega cap index chart. Let's look at the market's external view. This is how most people around the globe see the market. In the performance radar, I have all the market ETFs, mega cap ETF max, and QQQE equal weighted Nasdaq 100 and equal weighted S&P 500 RSP. Weekly period this week, and of course you all know this very well, the market fell like a rock. Some instruments, mega cap ETF, fell by more than 10%, but others were not far behind, whether you look at the cap weighted ETFs or the equal weighted ETFs. Everything fell, everything was being sold, and the charts, if you are long, are looking scary. SPY, I'm trying to keep these videos to 30 minutes, and the market is helping me this week, and it helped somewhat last week, helping me even more this week. Nothing much to say, it is very clear, very bearish in weekly, daily. There is a support nearby in weekly. I'll keep an eye on that to see if that holds. QQQ, very bearish weekly, daily. Here I am going to see if the watermark level in daily holds. By the way, the jump thrust is showing that it is moving very fast down, but that down move is becoming more and more unsustainable, and it is also at price extreme low. So now if a big move up 3 comes, not sure why it will come, but if it comes, I'll be very happy to buy. If the support holds, I will look to buy, but if a big move up 3 comes, of course I'll be much more keen to buy. And if I go back to SPY for a moment, you will see jump thrust low is hit there as well, and it is also at price extreme low. Dia, very bearish weekly, daily. The next support is here. If that holds, or if it creates a false upside breakout, false downside breakout at the previous weekly trend line support, that will be a time to look to buy. It is also at jump thrust low, price extreme low, unsustainable down move. IWM, again jump thrust low, price extreme low, unsustainable down move. The trend line support is breached. I am going to look for a false downside breakout, that is price to go up above the trend line support. Here the daily candle is looking somewhat different. The shape is not as bearish as the other market ETFs, though it is the worst performing ETF. We can know that from the relative performance tilting down. But Friday's candle is actually less bearish in terms of shape. In terms of percentage move, it also dropped hugely. But in terms of shape, it is less bearish, and it also has a bullish indecision at the low. Still, if it starts to go up from here, I'll not be able to buy. I'll have to wait to see if the trend line support in weekly is regained, or at least the watermark support in daily is regained. Does not seem like it will happen on Monday, but I'll keep an eye on all those charts from Megacap Custom Index to the market ETFs. The external view is how most people look at the market, but the internal breadth view, health check, is more useful and more powerful. Let's look at that. Start with market breadth total view, the broadest view of the market. Extremely oversold, both in terms of percentage of stocks above 50-day moving average as well as 3-month new high low. 3-month new high low is an oscillator I started using after watching Dr. Jeffrey Scott's videos. Works like a clockwork. What does work like a clockwork? Every time it hits the oversold level, the extreme oversold level, the line goes up. That is what works like a clockwork. It does not mean the market trend changes to uptrend, but the line goes up means at least some stocks recover from low price level. That means there may be some reversal buy setups. And looking at the market ETFs also, if we get a hold at the support levels, trendline support, watermark support, the market ETFs and Megacap Custom Index, the buy setups that I am going to look for are not going to be trend following setups, but that is perfectly all right for me or other Q traders, because Q has several reliable reversal trade setups as well. This is also extremely oversold from all angles, even from new high, new low percentage. Every time we have these alerts with vertical lines, it is extremely oversold or overbought. Now it is oversold. And we can see, thanks to Mr. Ian Woodward, the bingo signals, may him rest in peace, that is throwing baby out with bathwater, indiscriminate selling, sell everything. And of course, I was one of them who had some long positions going into the tariff decision. And I do 360 degrees analysis. My stocks were well picked. Those stocks served me well. But after the announcement, market fell sharply and I closed right at that time. I did not wait for Friday. But my stocks, I thought they were quite good, either high dividend paying stocks or stocks at very robust support level, but those also broke. I sold them, and if I sold my long positions, I guess others who were less confident about their buying, they would sell also, if not Thursday, at least on Friday. And the panic selling started on Thursday itself. Where did the panic selling come from? Nasdaq or NYSE? Let's look at that. In Nasdaq, the panic selling happened both on Thursday and Friday, and in NYSE, the panic selling happened on Friday. Again, looking at percentage of stocks above 50-day moving average, both Nasdaq and NYSE are extremely oversold. 3-month new high low is extremely oversold. Extremely oversold does not mean it is time to buy, but it certainly means it is not a time to short. If we go back to the total view, on Friday, we also had huge selling across the board. And during the week, I shared some Q Elite on registration real-time rate charts. They were also showing persistent selling throughout the day. That is reflected here in terms of distribution count. 2 on Thursday, much more on Friday. The selling accelerated. If we look at the total view custom indexes weekly daily, fell very sharply in weekly and daily. It is also at jump thrust low, price extreme low, unsustainable low price. And it has a very nice support nearby in both weekly daily. Again, I'm going to look at all these supports. The moment I see that they are holding, and if total view holds the support, that is very nice. That is the broadest view of the market. If it holds and shows a bullish candle, at least in shape, I'm going to look for proper kill trade setup. There are many fundamentally strong stocks at low price level, lucrative buying points. I don't mind buying them with short put vertical. Volatility is very high, so that will be in my favor, and delta will also be in my favor. But it is not that time yet. Break charts are as bearish as the external view. What about bucket analysis? Pinpoints reversal points with remarkable accuracy. Again, thanks to Dr. Jeffrey Scott, I incorporated it in my trading after watching his videos, made it real time. And I shared these snapshots during the week also on Thursday and then on Friday. It was already very oversold, and now, of course, it is even more oversold. Huge 70% of stocks, S&P 1500 stocks, are below lower Bollinger Band, the lowest bucket. That is extremely oversold. From Thursday to Friday, it had a huge jump also in that bucket percentage from 23% to 70%. That is also showing it is too late to short now. Sector industry stock breadth shows where the market came from, where it is now, and where it may go next. Well, it came from red, it is at red. Where it will go next, we'll have to see. It is so red that it is also oversold. How do I know it is oversold? When all or almost all of the pie charts are hitting 80% or around that in this graph, that is also extremely oversold, too late to short. You find the technical breadth, we only profit by buying stocks going up or shorting stocks coming down. That's why technical breadth is important. Weekly technical breadth, extremely bearish across the board. 3 of the categories hitting 100%. Has not happened in as many weeks as I remember. The fourth category is not far behind. Daily, everything is very red again, more than 90%. And jump thrust low, we saw that in all the market ETFs, we saw that in total view, and we see that in individual stock technical breadth also. not individual, aggregate stop technical break, that is also extremely oversold, not a time to short, too late to short. That makes my decision easy. For decision, the most important trading decision is whether and where to buy or short, or whether to stand aside. Now, my conclusion is same as it was in the last week's market recap. Time to stand aside, to oversold to short, no buy setup, buy signal to buy. Last week's trade ideas, I did not share any because I had the same view as this week. This week's trade ideas, there is no point discussing one because I am not going to take any swing trade in the current market condition. Normally, we would continue with the Q360 degrees analysis, and if we did that, we would find some buying or shorting candidates. We could find some today also probably, but market level decision is most important for me, and that decision is saying it is better to stand aside. So it is time to thank you for joining the session, and I look forward to seeing you in my next session. Have a great weekend. And as I always say, as the live examples I shared here on Twitter, on my website, I'm quite confident shows there is no reason not to do that. Trade profitably. Thank you.